True education is Christ-centered education. So we go into a school, a secular school, and we just say, hey, what's education? Define education on terms I can understand. Put them in layman's terms. Well, it's understanding the world. It's breaking it down into domains, into content areas. It's putting it at a developmentally appropriate level where students can understand. And it's bent on not just understanding, but application then. Students would understand their purpose and how to flourish in this world. That's education. Well, then we would go into, where does God fit into education? Well, that's not our role. That's family's role. That's at church. But in our 8 hours a day, the time when students are most focused on learning, the time where we're going to show them the foundations to the application of how this world exists, we're not going to touch on that. Calling it a null curriculum. Well, just deal with it elsewhere. Let's use an analogy. Let's use a solar system analogy. We live in a solar system. We know we are in orbit. We know there's intense light coming to our Earth, upon which existence depends, from photosynthesis to light and vision. We know that life can't occur without this light, but we're not going to talk about the sun. We'll let you talk about the sun at home and theories you might have at your church or temple. We're not going to deal with the sun. You say it's ludicrous. I would never send my student to a school that doesn't clearly teach what we know is true, not just what is true, but what is foundationally true. Life is derived on this earth so much dependent upon the sun, but we're not going to talk about that. How much more is life, understanding the purposes of this world, understanding our purpose within this world, understanding what it means to live and to flourish, if we don't know who Jesus Christ is? He's the author. Not only is he the author, right? If he's the author, it's he. He built it, and so he has the right to say this is what it's for. The author gets the authority. That's what we see in Colossians 1. He's created everything. Everything's created by him, and then it's obviously created for him. We know in Hebrews 1, everything right now is sustained by the power of his word, the same word that spoke us into creation. Colossians 1 says he holds everything together. Right now, he holds everything together just as he created everything. He is our author. He is our authority. To know him is to know our purpose. It's like C.S. Lewis's quote, I believe Christianity because I see the sun, but not only the sun, because the sun, I see everything else. So, let's redefine education. What is education? I think it's, hey, let's teach students how to seek the glory of God, to understand it, and then to apply it in a way that you live by and through his glory. So you're living for his glory among creation, taking his glory to the ends of the world. That's the creation mandate, is it not? So you got Jonathan Edwards' quote. I won't go all the way through it, but man, he understood the chief ends of God, the purpose of God. And in the passage, in the book, he says, God is the luminary. He's the source of glory. He's the source of life. He's the source of light. And his light goes out, and his glory, like the beams of the sun, they go out, and then we receive them. They work in us, and we reflect his glory back to him, so that everything is from him, it's through him, and it's to him. That's Romans 11:36, right? For from him, through him, and to him, to Christ be the glory forever and ever. That's why the world exists. That's why we exist. So, derivatively speaking, that's why education exists. That is true education. That's Christ-centered education.